me being a single mom, I am very traditional, and I know we're gonna probably have fights about this on the podcast.
Hold on. Wait. You're very traditional.
I am very traditional.
Wait. Hold on. Say it one more time.
I am very traditional with my views.
You're which ones?
So with my relationships, I didn't expect to have 4 baby daddies. I didn't go out of my way to do that.
By the third one, though.
Okay, third one.
Then it's kind of like.
The third one, I was supposed to have my tubes tied with my daughter. The third one was I was hooking up with someone I've known for years, and it happened.
Just happened.
It happened.
Just
I went to go get my tubes tied after my son.
Mm-hmm.
My doctor's license got pulled. He skipped town, and then I went to my new doctor to sign the waiver for my tubes, and they were like, "You can't. You're pregnant."
Oh.
Good times.
So
good times. Oh. But hold on. Really? Wait. Traditional?
Yeah.
But you strip.
Wait, how is that?
And I don't want to be doing those things at all.
But it's kind of like a vegan. I'm a vegan.
But I eat meat.
But I still eat meat a couple times a week. You know what I mean?
But I want to not eat meat.
It's not that. It's if I wasn't dancing right now or doing OF, I wouldn't be able to support my kids.
Oh.
The only reason I started dancing was because in November, my daughter has a brain cyst and is losing all mobility, and Phoenix Children's Hospital is no longer helping. So I have to get her to Boston. She's a medical mystery right now.
I'm sorry.
And then on top of that, I'm also raising 3 kids with autism. So I homeschool. I have up to 5-6 doctor's appointments a day with these kids. I don't have time for a 9 to 5, but I have to still support my kids.
Really? Well, there's a bunch of problems with what you just said. Like, one, okay, so you have an OF. Why is there a requirement that you do BG content on the OF? If you're
it makes me the most money.
Outlook. Right, because it's about money, right? So the thing is what was the timeline with the last time you did BG content to the time you started stripping?
I honestly haven't been active on my OnlyFans for probably the past 6-7 months. After me and my kids' dad split up, I haven't been making content.
So this was before then you knew that that one of your children needed to have this extensive care from Boston. So the thing is like you were still doing the non-traditional stuff before you started the stripping for the money, yeah?
I was, but it was with the person that I planned on marrying.
Why would that make it traditional? Like, oh, I plan on marrying you, so I'm going to go do a with you? How's that traditional?
We needed the extra money for the kids. At the time, when we started it, he has 3 kids of his own. I was basically raising... I was basically raising 7 kids.
Okay. And he has a job, I take it.
Yeah, he makes great money, but it wasn't enough. And I also... We needed the extra money.
Have you considered other jobs like photography or real estate? Realtors make great money.
I don't have time to go to real estate school. My time is consumed by my kids. And then when I go and dance, I go in at 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night and work until 3, 4 o'clock in the morning and get my kids back at 5.
Can I say something? With dancing, like, honestly, it is super flexible. You can choose how many days a week you work. You can make a lot of money in a short period of time. So I definitely get where you're coming from.
I needed the fastest.
You could do that with a sales job too.
True, but you can't just really hop into sales.
Yes,
real estate is really easy.
Hop into sales and be good at it. Yeah.
An online course, and then you schedule your own showings.
Yes, I mean there's definitely other options out there, but I was just interjecting.
Sales? Aren't you selling your body?
I mean, yeah, technically it's still sales, but I mean in a more professional setting, usually you can't just walk in and be like, give me the job.
In sales, you can.
Commission sales work exactly that.
I mean, I've never done professional.
If you guys have some ideas, send them my way,
but
because if one of my 2-year-old is severe, so when he has a bad day, I can make that choice of, I'm just not going to go into work tonight. I can't. my
What's
kid
the
needs me.
situation with the baby daddies? Do they not give you any child support, and why not?
No, so my oldest son is, his dad's the only one that's on child support, and he's $30,000 in debt with child support. My daughter's dad doesn't pay anything, but he's also 50-50 with my daughter. And I don't necessarily believe if they're active in my kids' life, why are they paying child support?
Because they
need the
created a
money.
child. And
I understand,
there's
but he's
finances
supporting that
and-
child at his house. And not only that, if
Don't you think your children would rather have their fathers pay you child support than you promote your body online?
my kids don't know.
Well, they
But
will.
they will one day.
One day.
One day, but also if I need anything for my daughter, he does help. But right now, my daughter is who I'm trying to get to Boston. And so me and her dad are both saving up to do that.
Can I make a suggestion?
Why would you need to save up? If you have that many kids, wouldn't you be on like Medicaid or something like that?
So with it being in Boston, insurance, she's on Access. Insurance doesn't cover out of state.
And they don't have like programs to assist.
I've looked at every program. I'm actually looking at like a flighting program right now for her that's gonna like hopefully pay for the flight out there. But she could be needing back surgery, she could be needing brain surgery, we don't know.
I'm really sorry to hear that.
So I don't know exactly what your daughter has, but when you said back surgery, I don't know if you've looked into Shriners hospitals for kids. I have a metal spine. They did my entire scoliosis surgery when I was a teenager for free and covered like the brace, the care after, everything. They do take on cases. It's just something to look into because I mean,
By the
everything
way,
was free.
how do you know that your 2-year-old has autism?
He got diagnosed. Well,
How do you get diagnosed with autism at 2?
We took him to Access for Autism after. So my oldest son got diagnosed this year. He was in and out of the mental hospital, and they had me test my other kids. My baby at the time was too little. They had me test my daughter, and then they had me test my 1-year-old at the time. And he got diagnosed with severe, and he's been diagnosed by 2 different facilities.
At 2 years old?
At
With
1,
severe
he was
autism?
1.5 when he got
At 1?
diagnosed.
Oh, okay.
What symptoms did your kids present that made you feel like you needed to seek that diagnosis?
So with my oldest, I always kind of knew.
How?
He would do like self-harm injuries.
At what age did this start?
Around 1, where he
So
would be
he would
the
self-harm
head,
at 1?
around because like
My
head
baby
banging.
punches herself in the head all the time and me in the face, and that's I wouldn't claim that as autism, or I wouldn't think that was an autistic trait.
I didn't say that he did those things, like the head banging. He does. He did. The not being able to calm him down, the biting, there was certain things that particularly like lining things up in a specific way. He wouldn't play with the toys, but tear him apart and try to put him back together, examining things. So with my oldest, I knew. He didn't get diagnosed until 7 years old.
Okay.
My daughter, I honestly didn't think she would get diagnosed, but she did. She's a level 1, so she's highest on the spectrum. My baby was doing the same thing my oldest did. So my 2-year-old, he was head banging. He is severe. So right now he's nonverbal. He doesn't point. He doesn't make eye contact. He doesn't respond to his name. He doesn't.
I'm sorry, how old is he?
He's 2 now.
He's 2. Do you or the father present autistic traits as well?
So I am actually diagnosed with borderline. And when I was talking to their doctor, they said I was probably misdiagnosed.
Okay.
And it was I probably have autism, which now that I look more into it, I can see the line coming down my family where I was probably the one that passed it, especially because they have different dads.
Can I ask you a question about dancing? Does it like diminish your self-worth at all? Like, does it make you like feel less of yourself?
100%. I feel absolutely disgusting doing it. It is making me great money. It is really fast, easy money, but there's times where I'll be sitting at work and I look around and I'm like, what am I doing here? Because I know I am so much more than being in that club. And this is no offense, I know you dance, but I hate when I hear dancers say, I have no problem doing it. Because it's like, even the
but
girls
aren't you coping a little bit by calling them dancers?
What is it?
Aren't you kind of coping already by calling them dancers?
I mean, it's respectful.
What are they actually?
It's just like a proper term. I mean, when you're referring, I guess you
It's
don't
not
really
the
go.
proper term.
I mean, I don't really like to go around saying
calls them
strippers.
dancers. The only one who wants to be called the dancer is the stripper, right? That's the one who wants to be called the dancer. The truth is that they're strippers.
I only
right?
say it just because
And
as
that's
a
even,
fellow.
by the way, that's even more accurate because you could be in the club and stripping without doing any dancing whatsoever. No dancing required at all. You can just take your clothes off, minus any dancing.
Yeah.
That's why
So-
it's a way more accurate term.
Actually, I am probably the worst stripper because I work in a club that you're not allowed to show any, you have to wear pasties, you can't show anything on the bottom. I won't take my top off. I won't take off my bottoms. I will sit there and dance, but I'm not going to show you anything. I don't care how much money you are going to give me. And I still make great money doing it. So I guess in that terminology, I am a dancer because I'm not taking off my clothes.
Oh.
But you do OnlyFans.
Yes, you are definitely taking off your clothes. What are you talking about?
While I'm saying they're dancing, I'm not. Am I walking around in skimpy lingerie? 100%, but I'm not sitting there taking off my top on the pole.
So you don't take them off and then it shows the pasties, ever. That doesn't
No.
happen. That's not part of your show.
No, I'm insecure about my chest too. So, no.
Yeah. And none of the other girls in the club do that.
I mean, the girls that I work with do.
Yeah, so they're strippers, right? They're strippers.
I mean, yeah, you're at a strip
Yeah,
club.
they're strippers. Just not you. You're the only non-stripper.
I mean, I'm
in the
technically
strip
a
club.
stripper.
I get it.
I'm just saying
Yeah.
it's.
But it's definitely not coke. It's not coke, right? Because you wear pasties and stuff, so therefore, and you don't technically take the top off. You just already have the top taken off, so technically it's not stripping, right? So okay, I get it. It just sounds a little bit like coke to me. That's all.
Why is there a difference between not exposing yourself at the strip club but doing it on OnlyFans? Like, what can you tell me the difference between
Honestly,
the two
there is
platforms?
no difference.
So why
but
do you feel like
it's-
in one department you can do this and the other you're full out doing on the internet? Like, what's the difference between the two?
Honestly, it's the in person. The more I feel more vulnerable at the
see.
club because I can get touched. I can, you know what I mean? It's
I
just
see.
it's
So
more
it's like more of a
vulnerable.
risk.
And it's 100% like the same as like I'm more comfortable on the internet because
You're in
just,
control,
It's
I
just
guess.
the internet. You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
it's not just the internet.
well,
The
no, but
internet's
it's
forever.
not in person. It's less intimate.
Can I add
Sure.
something? With in person too, I guess you have to put
What do you
be more personal.
What do you mean it's less How can it be less intimate if you're a dude on the camera? How is that
Well,
less intimate?
you're getting intimate
than
with
stripping in the club? Hang
random
on, let me ask the
people.
question. Hang on. How can it be less intimate to be a dude on a camera and then disseminate that to the public than it is to walk through a strip club with pasties on? Like, what? How's that less intimate?
I'd rather a dude on the internet than a dude in a room of 300 different people. It's less, I don't feel like all of the eyes are on me is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but how can that be less intimate than stripping?
Well, because when you're stripping, you're getting intimate with people you don't know. When you're making a video on OnlyFans, it's with someone you know, right? So getting intimate and getting close to people who are just random strangers is obviously a lot different than someone you personally
Yeah, but there's
know.
still going to be degrees to it. You're saying, when you're talking about intimacy, you personally knowing the person or not knowing the person has nothing to do with the degree of the intimacy.
Well,
We're talking
like-
about having with the person versus not having with them, right?
Because it's a lot easier to have somebody just send me a message back than me be at work and talking to somebody and him grab my ass or him touch me. Or I feel safer on the internet. Yes, it's not just the internet because it's there forever. I'm never going to get rid of that, and I'm fully aware of that. But when it comes down to it, I'm hiding behind a screen.